Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about a rather obscure product today. It's called the Apple Bandai Pippin, and basically what it is it was Apple's one and only shot at a video game console. Basically it's called the Apple Bandai Pippin because Apple plans to design and manufacture the console, and then they were going to rely on third parties, obviously Bandai, to sell and market the product. Bandai is a toy company, they still make toys today. And it was released in North America and Japan both in 1995, only a few months apart. There were a few differences between the Japanese and the North American version. The Japanese is on top. Obviously, it's white. It was exclusively white in Japan. The differences are that it says Power PC in the right corner, and at mark in the left. I'm not sure what that means. The black one on the bottom was marketed and sold in the United States, and I believe the rest of North America by Bandai, so that's why it has a Bandai label there. And I don't know what at world means. I'm not really sure. Now, getting on to the console's design, basically it was pretty basic. It just had a CD tray that came out when you press eject, and two console plugs so you could play two players, but that was it. Now, as far as the back goes, it had a lot of different ports. It had a very interesting power supply plug. As you can see there, it has like 4 prongs. It had a VGA slot, so you could hook it up to a VGA monitor. It had a large serial port on the top for like accessories, or different kind of peripherals. It had a video out on the bottom. I believe that's like an S video port. And then it had the standard red, white, and yellow slots that you still can use today for your PS3 and Xbox 360. It's pretty standard, and it's probably going to become obsolete due to HDMI. There was a serial port for a printer. There was a printer that worked with this. I don't know if it was manufactured specifically for it, but there was a printer that was compatible. It had another part to hook up like a modem connection, and that's pretty much it for the back there. I think there's like an audio in and an audio out if you want to hook up a microphone. As I said, it was supposed to double as a computer. Now, moving on to the controller, which you can see here, is that, you know, it's a pretty interesting design for a controller. It has a directional pad on the left. It has 4 buttons on the right. The buttons kind of look similar to, you know, like the Dreamcast or Xbox 360 color scheme. And then 3 buttons on the bottom. I'm pretty sure it was like a start, stop, and like almost like a home button. And then in the middle, it was kind of unusual. That's not actually a button. That's like a trackball. Like, you know, on the bottom of like an old mouse, or like in the arcade, on like a bowling or golf game or something, you could move the trackball. Now, I've heard some people say that that was kind of a fault of the controller because it was kind of hard to be accurate with that, with like moving around. They would have been better by just using like a joystick or like the analog stick on the or like the PlayStation controller. And then here's a picture of the box it came in. So while that rolls, I'm just going to talk about some more of the specs and things like that. It has a 4x CD-ROM drive and a standard AV out, as I mentioned. The goal was for it to be a game console that also functioned as a computer. It was intended to be sold by multiple third-party companies, but obviously Bandai was the only one due to its short life. It cost almost $600 at launch, which was really a problem with sales. And it was competing with the Sega Saturn, the PlayStation, and Nintendo 64, which were all did fairly well in sales. It was marketed as a cheap computer, but really didn't work as a computer just because of its stripped OS. And it was obviously too expensive in comparison to competitors. It had only 100,000 consoles manufactured and only 42,000 were sold. There were more accessories made in total of all the accessories than consoles that were manufactured. The Pippin software, which you can see a game here, obviously just like a racer, will actually run on old Macintosh operating systems, and only 18 titles sold in the US. Now I'd like to kind of just go a little bit further and talk about some of the extra accessories that were sold for this Apple Bandai Pippin, and that is that there was a IR controller, like a remote control. It had a keyboard and a drawing tablet. As I said, they tried to market it as a computer. It had an external floppy disk drive, and it had adapters to connect devices to the Macintosh computers of the day and connect Macintosh peripherals to the Pippin. That's about that for this console. I just wanted to share some of my knowledge with you. I feel like I know a lot of pointless things that I'd like to share with the world, and if you learned anything or enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll subscribe. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave one. Thanks a lot, guys.